It's a veggie BLT pita! I totally suck at video games, but love to play them anyway. We've already made it to day 10, and we'll be looking at PSVR World's Scavengers Odyssey. This is part of the PSVR Worlds game, but it's its own game as well. There's like 5 different games on PSVR Worlds. There's like the Deep Ocean one, there's like the Heist, which I haven't actually played yet, or else it might have made this list, but too bad it didn't. There's a Street Luge one, like a Danger Ball Sports one, and Scavengers Odyssey, which takes you to space. And although you're not seeing it here, the first like part of the game you kind of get the tutorial section, and I looked down just to see, because a lot of the games will let you see your hands or your body or whatever, and I looked down, I'm like, oh, I'm an alien. Because you look down and you only have like 4 fingers and a weird hand that are like on the controls of the little space mecha thing you're in. And I don't know, that seemed really cool to me. It's like, I know I've played a lot of different characters in a lot of different games, but in VR, it's when you look down and you see that you are something else. It's kind of like the Batman game too. Like when I put the suit and like the cowl on, I was like, I am Batman. And this one is like, you don't just play an alien, you are the alien. I don't know, it's different. It's kind of neat. I like the experience. As for the game itself, I haven't gotten very far. I'm only on like the 3rd stage, I think, altogether, because I'm terrible at shooting things. But the first parts of the game are less shooting and more really cool jumping. It doesn't sound exciting when I'm like, you use your little mecha to wander around and jump on different asteroids, but they have, because it's in space, I mean, it's slightly different spatial awareness and gravity going on. And it doesn't start you out that way until a little bit later, but when you're jumping, sometimes you jump sideways. You look to the side and you see kind of like a flat vertical side of a building or a rock or a ship, but you can jump to it, and when you jump to it, your whole perspective shifts so that is your up and down, because when you're in space, there is no like up, down, left, right. Your space is a whole 3D plane, so when you think you're up, someone looking at you thinks you're like, you know, on the side. The game shifts its perspective so that you're always, you know, facing up, quote unquote, but you're on different things. I don't know, I thought that was really cool. It reminded me of like in Ender's Game, the book. I don't know if they really went over it in the movie, but in the book they talk about how you have to just completely rethink your north, south, east, west, because in space you have to think different directionally, and this, it was neat. I liked that part. Of course, there is more than just jumping in this game. There are little data things you need to collect that give you information on different things you're going to find in the game, like the little buggy aliens or maybe the spaceship that you end up finding. And those are floating out in space, and you have like a grapple beam, I guess, to get it. The grapple beam can also get debris and just bring it towards you, and it can also use that debris that you've brought towards you and you can chuck it at stuff to either hit enemies or get rid of more debris or just have fun chucking stuff into space. So you can jump, you can shoot, and you can beam grapple. I don't know what to call it, I forget what the game calls it, but I'm so used to stuff in other games where it's basically just a grapple beam, you know? That's what it is. And you're using all of these moves and options to get to your goal, which I guess, again, since I haven't gotten far, I'm not sure, but within the 3rd chapter you get to a spaceship that looks like it's seen better days. Along the way to the spaceship, you are also introduced to the probably main enemy of the game, or at least the only one I've found, which are little buggy insect things. The little ones will swarm at you, so you have to just kind of take them out. And unfortunately, your gun has a cooling period, so you can't just continually fire to get rid of them. You have to stop firing every now and again. I haven't really seen like a health bar. There's not so much a health bar as much as the screen just kind of reds out, and then all of a sudden you are dead. You also have a little like a voice computer system with you that's helping you get where you need to go. So, I mean, it's your tutorial basically where it says, oh, those are the blah 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 insects of blah blah blah. You know, that kind of thing. I didn't pay it too much attention because I was too busy being like, I'm jumping in space. but I imagine that's where you get most of the story. And when I go back to it and hopefully get farther, I'll probably listen better. When you get a little farther into the game, you run into a bigger, badder version of the space bug, and I have a little trouble with it. I don't know if I'm just, well, okay, I know I'm bad at games. I don't know if I'm just really bad at this particular one, or if I'm missing something important, like if there's a guard feature that I just, you know, didn't listen to, or a shield or something. Because I get killed in this, in the third chapter, you have to fight basically the boss, like, or a boss of the bugs in the spaceship, and I don't make it. I haven't made it past that yet. So I gotta work on that. But it's still cool, and people who are better at it are probably much better at fighting the big mega bugs. The possible downsides to this game, well, one for me, I die when I fight the bugs. I'd rather have more scavenger, like, exploration parts rather than bug fighting, but, you know, it is a game, and people like to, you know, fight things in games. So that's not necessarily a bad for everyone, that's just kind of a disappointment to me, because I'm like, come on, I just want to beat the bugs so I can go around this ship and figure more stuff out. Another downside is, this game does kind of consistently give me motion sickness if I don't take breaks. Now, I'm pretty prone to motion sickness, so it's been amazing that I've been able to kind of get my VR legs. You know how they say you get sea legs when you're on boats all the time? Well, I kind of got my VR legs by playing the games and also taking breaks if I ever start to feel even just a little bit off. So I can play for longer amounts of time now. But this particular game always kind of gets me after a while. Maybe it's because of the whole thing that I like so much about it, where your perspective just shifts entirely when you jump sideways. But I have to take breaks between chapters, so that's a bad on just for me. I'm not sure how badly it affects other people, although a Google result when I was searching for Scavengers Odyssey, one of the first things that people were searching for is motion sickness. So I don't think I'm the only one who's getting it, but the game is really good despite that. And if you take a break in between chapters, and they let you pause at any time, if you push options, I think, it'll just pause. You can go back to the game or whatever you need to do. Like, they're pretty good about that in the VR games. Like, they know people might need to take a break. So, you can always take a break and it's still fun to go back to, but I guess it is kind of a downer on this game. Again, still worth it because I like what I've played so far. I like moving around in space and jumping on different rocks and asteroids and finding the ship and just being an alien in a space mech. It's cool! So one of these days I'm going to get past that bug boss, which probably anyone watching is like, oh my god, it's so easy! Jeez, you just do blah blah blah. And I'll be like, well then, good. That's a request of if you know how to beat the space bug easily and I'm just missing something, please let me know in the comments. So hopefully when I get past that bug though, I can go explore more and I'm sure there'll be more enemies that I will die to, but I like this game. I liked it the second I booted it up and I hope to continue liking it even if I have to take breaks in between chapters.